Hi everyone, my name is Lucas or Luke, and today I would like to talk about something that I've just read in a book that I'm currently reading. The book I'm talking about is The Dispossessed by Ursula Le Guin. Oh, I think that's her name. I don't know if you pronounce it that way. And the protagonist, Shevek, said something very interesting in the book. He said, well, let's actually draw that. He was a little boy at the time he said that. So let's just draw a little stick figure right there. Here. Oh my god, the hat has to be attached. Okay, that looks hilarious. I can't draw a circle. No, that's fine. Okay, so here is a person. That's a little kid called Shevek. I don't know what that application is doing. So here that's Shevek. If that name seems weird to you, he's from a planet called Anarus. So, and what he said is very interesting. Basically, there was a tree that I'll draw. Looks like this, sort of. And there's the tree. Don't even think about thinking whether or not this is bad. This should just sort of conceptualize it. Okay, so here is he had a ball in his hand. Let's make that blue or something so you can actually call it red. Let's go for red. Okay, it's not disappearing. There you go. So he had a ball in his hand. Okay, right there. And what he did is, okay, he said, well, I have the distance between the ball and the tree. And he didn't say that now, but what I'm going to say, but here's what he sort of said. So I'll put that in. Actually, a nicer font would be cool. Otherwise, this will look very horrendous. So let's go for this. Okay, so what he did is, it didn't really pick this. That was weird. Okay. So what he said, sort of, more or less, was the ball will never reach the tree. Reach the tree. There you go. So that's sort of what he said. And I'll put that right beside him or underneath him. The ball will never reach the tree. And I thought that was an interesting statement and thought whether or not you can say that. Well, this relationship is something that would probably be discussed in physics and not in mathematics. So I'd like to talk about it in a little bit. This mustn't be, or actually this is probably not true. What I'm going to say is just some thoughts. Those are just some thoughts I had. And you might be able to, or no, you can share your thoughts with me. I'd like to hear that. So what he said is, or what he probably thought was, the distance right here is something like x, okay? And now, when he throws the ball will approach the tree ever so slightly, and will approach the tree. So if I do that, I went for red. I think this red. So, and what he did was, okay, let's say it goes halfway. So we're here. And then the half of this half, he didn't necessarily say that, but that's probably what he meant. So then we're here, and then we're here. Got it? Okay, so, and then let's go back to black to show you the distances. So now it's here, it's this. Oh, okay, that was bad. Here it's sort of this. Here it's this. And there it's... I have to keep the distance the same. Here. And, well, it's smaller, but sort of this. And you can tell that's always the half of what it was the prior. So that's x halves, and then here we have x quarters. No, that's hard to tell. I'll do it here. X quarters, and that's x eighths. There you go. So now you can sort of understand what is happening here. And probably the thought that Shevek had was, well, here, that number will always, the number will, underneath the x, I don't know what it is called in English, will get smaller all the time. Will get bigger all the time. So the number, the whole number, will, let's just say that was 1. So here 1.5, 0.25, 2.25. You see that they will always get smaller and so on. But it will never reach 0. Yes, it will. At some point, it will be 0.000 whatever. But it will never be 0. And that's what he probably meant. And, well, he's right. If we look at it in a mathematical sense, we would have a function of x, sort of like this. And here we have a number. Let's say, I don't know. Or actually, no, let's do that differently. Sorry. Let's just say you have an input, n. That's a very easy idea. And what you can do is here with the limit, you can say x going to infinity, because we're talking about positive infinity right there. So you might also denote it with a plus if you'd like to. And then that's going to intake. Some people don't do these. Let's just not do them. So here you have n, and you have x here that divides n. And then, well, we have to specify what n is, because x is specified. Well, n is going to be part of positive rational numbers. So there you go. There you go. That looks feasible. That looks right. And now what we have to think about is, what will that number be? So n is going to be any set number that's positive. And it might very well be very high up. Let's just say, what would be a big number? In my mind, a big number can be 1,000 already. So that might be 1,000, but this will approach infinity. So of course it will be 0. It's point something. It will be point something, but it won't be 0. But here, if we talk about that, that will, in mathematical sense, you can say that's 0. In a mathematical sense, you can say that approaches 0. Okay, but well, the problem with that is, as I've said before, it's probably a matter of physics, and that's the issue I'm having here. I think in a mathematical sense you can say it's you can say it's 0, so that statement would be wrong. But I think physics would never say that this is the truth in reality. At least I can't imagine that. I don't know if that's true. I just can't imagine it, and that's the problem I'm having with agreeing to this. Also, another problem I have with this is, well, why would you look at the relationship between the ball and the tree's distance? Because in my opinion, the ball is very independent of the tree, or at least where the tree is. Of course, it can hit it. But that's it. It can't do more than that. And I wouldn't really look at the distance, but well, Shevek did, and he got my attention. The book isn't about that. It's about a utopia, by the way, a anarchist utopia. I thought it's a communist, anarcho-communist utopia on a planet. Well, it's about 2 planets really. And yeah, so that's my response to what Shevek said. And I mean, he's a little kid, but I already think of him as someone very clever, especially because, as I said, he was a kid at that age. And it's a book, of course, but it was still interesting. And those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I can really recommend the book. I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's very interesting. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good time.